Okay. The next application which we are going to demonstrate is a Meru Bonjour application. So during our panel discussions, we have seen like a lot of applications being discussed. I mean, about the applications in different verticals, and education is one of the vertical, right? This use case really came from the educational vertical. When we are talking to the universities, we see like there is a real need of a application which can really control your Bonjour devices coming into the network. So now if you see a lot of people are getting their own Bonjour devices plugging into the network, but there is no control and it creates unnecessary flood in your network. So it's a multi-class. Bonjour works on a multicast. So it's every device connected and every device you are requesting, so every device will be responding to that. So it's a complete multicast flood and it is unified. Some can connect to your wired device, some can connect to your wireless device. So this is a real world problem now in the market and the education sector. How do we solve it? Then we came up with this solution which uses SDN again, OpenFlows again, and comes up with like a unified solution where we can control the whole Bonjour traffic and say like define who can access what resource in your network. And I can dynamically go and change it where I can say in a classroom, teacher says like, okay, only one student who is going to present will have the rights. And he can only see my Apple TV and only play on that Apple TV, right? So those kind of policies are very important in the universities where you can control by yourself saying like who can access what resource at what time. This is the architecture diagram or the application diagram where we have an integration with, again, unified network where you can see Meru controller, APIs, and then some of those Apple TVs are registered to the faculty, and some of the printers are registered to the students. I can go and change policies based on like, okay, this printer, some event is going on and I wanted to open up to all the students this printer, I can go and do that. Or by default, this printer is assigned to only a registered faculty X, so only he can access it. So the printer is connected to the unified wired network and the person who is accessing is on the wireless network. But the policies are defined centrally across your network, and that policies will take care who can access what. Again, the advantages: OpenFlow, standard-based, access control of Bonjour resources, and the single pane of glass for policy deployment, and there is no multicast flooding. We will not flood the network, and we will give only the packets or only the resources which are requested by the user. With that, I'll open a short demo.
BYOD is a phenomenon now and is more prevalent than ever. Apple Bonjour is a zero-config mechanism that makes it easy to enable screen sharing, resource sharing like printers, TV, projectors in a school or a university environment. However, it works only within a subnet, and if you opened it up across subnets, you run into security and resource utilization issues. With increasing number of Bonjour devices getting plugged into a unified network, it becomes difficult for an IT administrator to manage access control for various resources. The change is so dynamic that it poses increased overhead in overall network administration.
Software-defined networking is a new way of designing, implementing, and managing networks. SDN first surfaced in wide network deployments. However, it is applicable to the entire enterprise world. Now, with Meru implementing open standard-based SDN, it is possible to have a holistic view of the unified network, eliminate vendor lock-in, and also provide the ability to deploy unified network policies. Meru Bonjour Personal Area Network application helps in discovering the Bonjour resources like Apple TV, printers, and projectors across a unified network and advertise only those services to the users who have the access. This helps reducing multicast flood and provides the flexibility to deploy dynamic policies. This demo showcases a use case of a student trying to use AirPlay services to project a video to a TV connected an Apple TV. If you notice, the student's device is connected to the network, but the AirPlay services are not available due to access restrictions. So the student cannot project the video on the TV connected to an Apple TV. Now teacher can log into Meru Bonjour Personal Area Network application using his credentials. Select the Apple TV which he wanted to give permission. Select the student and provision. Now that the student is provided access to the Apple TV, the AirPlay services are enabled and student can play the video from his iPad to Apple TV. As you have seen in the demo, managing Bonjour resources and policies across the unified network made easy with Bonjour Personal Area Network Manager. Great. Any questions?
Okay,
Thank you.
that's good. Thank you. Sorry, there was one question here.
So just clarifying, in a university environment, when the professor is in a lecture hall and he wants to do this because they want to go just open air and in real time present, this gives them the digital podium protection that they need. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. So the projectors is one of the AirPlay, the Bonjour services coming up now. A lot of devices are opening up that projectors with a Bonjour services. With that, we can now control even the projectors also who can project on that particular projector. So it's definitely applicable statement here.